Welcome to the MommyZen Podcast with Marianne Clyde.
Hi, this is Marianne Clyde, and welcome back to the MommyZen Podcast. Today I have an affirmation for you as a parent that says, I am able to see the need behind the behavior. This is such an important topic. My guest today, again, is Jay Morgan, family therapist and author of Fingerpainting and Psych Class. And we're going to talk a little bit about what happens with a child who seems to always be seeking negative attention and how to turn that around. So welcome back, Jay. Glad you're back with me.
Thank you.
Okay, we each address this in our books about kids who are looking for negative behavior. It seems like they're always getting into trouble. They are always, it's almost like they like to be yelled at. How would you suggest a parent can turn that around?
Well, it's you can, but it helps to understand the underlying psychology, and that's one of the things that distinguishes my book is I have a lot of psychology. But the thing about negative attention is it's highly predictable.
What do you mean?
Well, if a child goes out, and this actually happened in a sense, but a child went out in the playground and asked some other kids to play basketball, and one of the kids said, "Leave us alone, retard." Okay?
Yeah,
so
painful.
Here's a kid asking to join in. He's open. He gets, just clobbered with this horrible remark. He kind of sulks, and then 5 minutes later he throws rocks at the girls, and then he has one-on-one attention from a staff member, which is what he wanted. He wanted somebody to notice him. He wanted somebody to interact with him. But he did it on his own terms. When you're being scolded, you're usually psychologically closed. When you say, "Hey, can I play ball too?" You're open, and that's when it really hurts.
Right.
And so kids, a lot of kids that have received a lot of negative feedback at home or elsewhere become overly cautious and say, "I'm just going to do this. I can get everything I want, and I don't have to be hurt as much."
So this is a safe way for me to get attention. Who cares if it's positive or negative?
Right.
Yeah.
And they settle for the negative, sadly, and so that's why a reprogram is required, and we talked in the last one about how to do that.
Yeah. Yes. So important, I think, and you and I were talking the very first time we had a phone conversation. We had each, I think, in that last week, heard of a four-year-old that had been suspended from preschool for being too aggressive. And the idea is very often when they're in a controlled situation like school, a teacher has a wide range of kids to supervise. And so their automatic knee-jerk reaction is control behavior at all costs. And they don't really take the time very often to see the need behind the behavior. To say, boy, Sean really needs one-on-one time with me. Or Sean really needs to feel important in class, and so I can give him an extra chore, let him erase the boards or something like that. Or let him be a line leader.
Yeah.
What's that?
Teacher's helper.
That's right. That's right. And teachers are much more prone, unfortunately, to just see the negative behavior and stop it. And so the kid figures, okay, well, so I'll keep acting out. I'll keep knocking the kid next to me. I'll keep kicking his book bag. And so I think these programs, that you and I, it's kind of this movement for conscious parenting that we're moving toward is to teach not only parents but teachers as well how to see that positive instead of the negative and reprogram your brain.
Yes.
We think we just have to program the kids.
Yeah. Well, they'll give you back smaller or larger portions of what you give them. I say that a lot in session.
Right.
And And so you have to keep it positive with all kids, but especially the ones that have gravitated to settling for the negative attention.
Right, because they're going to stir up negative activity all around them. And I use an illustration in my book about how one stepmom comments about how the stepdaughter controls the whole household with her sad sack, poor me, I never get anything type of attitude. And my answer to that was that's way too much responsibility for a young child to control a whole household. And we let them have that responsibility by deferring to them and getting angry at them and reinforcing their negative mindset with our negative answers and our negative attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a tough situation, because if a kid is overreacting about, skinning their knee or their fight with their friends, we want to be compassionate. But if you listen to your intuition, there's often a sense that the kid is exaggerating their emotions to hook you in, and that takes a certain amount of tact, but it's the same principle applies as when she's modulating her response a little bit better than in times past. That's the focus, rather than letting her get into full-blown everything's horrible and my life's falling apart mode.
Right, to comment on you seem a little happier today, or you seem a little more content today. I really like how that feels. Does that make you feel better? And get them to identify that they actually have feelings associated with these behaviors. Such an important thing, because we often we recognize the behavior and we nip it in the bud right away and don't give the child a chance to figure out how they were feeling that elicited that behavior. And so that's another part, I think, of conscious parenting that you so brilliantly speak about in your book. It's just, we have to get kids to be conscious too. It's a conscious parent and a conscious teacher that raises conscious kids. And we're the ones raising the leaders of tomorrow. So we need to understand the magnitude of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, and I want to talk about one more thing with you in the next podcast, and it's about being reflectively responsive. It's that kind of knee-jerk reaction that we often have. And so hang in there with me, and I'll see you on the next podcast. And for the audience, I just want to thank you for being with us today, and understand that I have a program called From Chaos to Calm in 30 Days. You can learn more about it on MommyZen.com. It'll help you walk through the principles of the book, Peaceful Parenting, 10 Essential Principles, which is available on Amazon. So just remember today that you're a conscious parent, and so it's important for you to remember this affirmation: I am able to see the need behind the behavior. This is Marianne Clyde. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the MommyZen Podcast. For nuggets of encouragement and strength throughout your day, follow Marianne on Twitter at mommy_zen and Facebook at facebook.com/mommyjustbreathe. Also, you can join our mailing list, leave comments, or ask questions by visiting mommy-zen.com.